So AFL SuperCoach 2023 came out the other day, and I'm here to talk about my team going into next season. Obviously, this will definitely change. It's just kind of my first team, but yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you what my team was last season. I think I finished. Yeah, you saw top 4, 5, 6%, something like that for the year. And this is my team last year. Stuffed it up. I dropped Paddy Cripps instead of George Hewitt, so that really stuffed up my team. But yeah, I still finished. I still finished in the top 3% of total scores, so pretty happy about that. But now looking at my team for next season, we can start off in my defense. James Sicily, he was the best defender last year in Supercoach. Maybe not game by game. I think Tom Stewart might have been slightly better game by game. No, he wasn't. Jack Sinclair was by zero point 0.2 averages, but I thought that Sicily was the most consistent Supercoach player for last season. Jordan Dawson. So the thing is, with the defenders, I really don't know who to take. I don't really want Tom Stewart because of the injury risk. Jack Sinclair's a bit overpriced. Sam Doherty's, I don't know, a bit old. I don't know. Wait for their prices to go down. I feel like Jordan Dawson will only get better. So I think he's a really good D2. And D3, Nick Dacos, which is an obvious pick. I think everyone's going to have Nick Dacos in their Supercoach teams, in their defences, because he's only 500k. He'll get up to 640, 650 this year. Pretty confident about that. Then I got Elliot Yeo, who's really underpriced. I think that if you got the money, you definitely should pick him up. And then Josh Goda and Connor McKenna. So Josh Goda, I don't know how many games, if he played really any for North Melbourne last year, but he should get consistent games, I hope, this year. And then Connor McKenna coming back to the AFL. He was a really good player for Essendon. I think he'll get games starting in round 1. And then the two rookies, Campbell Chesser and then Ginby. I don't even know him, but I'm assuming he went high in the draft last year. The rookies, like the bench guys, will definitely probably change, but this is just what it is for now. In the midfield, I've gone with technically 4 premiums. I've gone with Clayton Oliver because I missed out on him the entirety of last year. I didn't pick him up. Took Miller, who I think is the best two-way runner in the AFL, and he is in line for a chance at a Brownlow this year. Jack McRae also, I think he's a really good player, really consistent. You know what you're going to get from him on a game-to-game basis. And with Josh Dunkley not there, his CBAs will go up, I hope. And I think he's a viable option to start the year. Chad Warner, I'm a Sydney fan, and I feel like he has a chance to really push into one of the top 5 midfielders next year. Callum Mills was he was in the midfield a lot, but he did also, he was inconsistent in terms of sometimes he would, be the guy in defence, helping out at the end of quarters. So I feel like Chad Warner's very consistent. He goes forward, he hits the scoreboard, and then he'll get his 25 touches, so I really like him. Jacob Hopper's incredibly underpriced as well, so I think that he's a really good option. I think most people will have him on the team. And then Will Ashcroft, I think it's Cam Mackenzie, and then Will Phillips. So Will Ashcroft, obviously the number 2 pick. I think he'll be in most teams. He'll definitely be playing from round 1. And then Mackenzie, a lot of the top Supercoach people have him in their team, and Will Phillips also. And then on the bench, I think it's Michael Johnson, Charlie Constable and Josh Sin. Hopefully they all get gains, but that'll probably change. So now moving down into my Ruckman. Right now, so I was looking at the Ruckman, if you see here. I feel like Witts and Gawn are overpriced. Tim English was absolutely awful for me last season. Mark Blicavs, I don't know if I'll keep him, but I feel like he can easily be a consistent 100, which is why I'm definitely considering him. And also he can go into the midfield. And last year, it was just the switchability was killing me. There was just times where I had players on the bench who were really dropping 85, 90s, and I just couldn't get them on the field for people who were injured. And it was just killing my scores every week. So Blitzars, I think, is a really good option. Also, you'll see in the forward line, and I'll talk about Darcy Cameron more later. And then for the R2, I'm looking at a couple of guys. So I don't know if this is scrolling and working, but Rowan Marshall, he got injured last year, but 92 average. I think that can go out to about 100. But I still think Brody Grundy's definitely a really good option. I feel like he'll still get he'll get more ruck contests per year, like more ruck contests during the year than Gawn. I feel like it'll be 60-40 to Grundy, as Gawn can go forward as well. So, and Melbourne will definitely need some other ruck/forward big targets up forward. And then Madden, I don't even know him, but most people have him in their team. Bryn Teakle's one to look at, I think. He was really good in the couple of games he played last season, but he did get injured. He should be back next year, I think. And then in the forward line, so I've got Connor Rosie, Tim Taranto, and Darcy Cameron as my kind of big three premiums. Taranto, I think that he will have a good season in at Richmond, and I think Rosie, he was one of the best. No, he was an All-Australian last year. I think he'll take another step next year. Darcy Cameron, I think that's a really good option up forward to go the three rucks early, because I can obviously just go like this and switch Darcy Cameron to get him if one of these two is injured. I can take a gamble on Tim English even though he'll miss games because I have the backup with Cameron there. So I think Darcy Cameron, and he's also going to be the number one ruck pretty much guaranteed for the whole season at Collingwood. And then I got Sam Flanders, Toby McLean, and Ben King. So I'm pretty sure Sam Flanders is a really underpriced player. I think he can get up to at least 400k. McLean, only 178k. He'll be good next year. And Ben King, coming off that ACL, I think he should. Like, if we saw with Charlie Curnow last year, he made over 300k. I think that Ben King can get up to at least 400. So I think he's a good option. Then Finn McRae and Van Rooyen on the bench. The rookies can definitely change next season. They're definitely not set in stone. So if I'm looking at other premiums in the midfield, there's definitely guys that I can go with in here. But I really like Oliver Miller and McRae. A lot of people who I've been watching the videos of have been taking Jack Steele as one of their players. But if I'm just looking at this, there's not really much that I want. If I took Miller down to Jack Steele, I could do that, but I really sacrificed premiums last year. I don't really think Neil's a good option. He definitely is a good option, but I think that it's better value for money to take Miller. And then Oliver's obviously going to be Clayton Oliver. And then if you're just looking down, Josh Dunkley's one that I don't have, that I would like to have. I might try and get him in the midfield. I want to keep Chad Warner, but even if I get rid of Jack McRae just for the switchability aspect of it, I could definitely consider doing that. But yeah, this is my team for right now. I'm really happy with it right now. Obviously, it's going to change by the time the season ends. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next SuperCoach or just AFL related video. Thanks.